Hi, it's Toby here. So this is the fifth lesson for people learning SketchUp, and I'm going to show what some of the other tools can do. We looked at the line tool, and before I do, we're going to go to this default tray. Remember, if the default tray isn't visible, you can go to Window, Default Tray, and either hide tray if you want to hide it, or you can go to Window, Default Tray, Show Tray to make it visible. And we're going to make this object called Instructor visible for this section, because this helps give you instructions on how to use the tools. So we looked at the line tool, and when I select that, you'll see that you get some instructions here telling you how to use it. You also get some instructions at the bottom left of the screen, which say click to set the first endpoint. And an important point, which I didn't show you before, is that you can use the arrow keys to lock the inferencing as well. So we held down the Shift key to lock inferencing, but you can also use the right arrow to lock the red axis. You can use the left arrow to lock the green axis, and you can use the up arrow on the keyboard to lock the blue axis. So it's very useful to read what's in the bottom of the screen when you're using tools. This tool is the freehand tool. It allows you to hold down the mouse and squiggle. Very unuseful for most of the stuff that we do in SketchUp. And an important key combination, Control-Z, like with most things in Windows, is undo. That's a very useful thing when you're using SketchUp. Control-Z undoes something if you've got it wrong, and you can have another go. The rectangle tool. So again, we don't click and drag. You click once, you move the mouse, and either click again or you type in the dimensions. So we did a square that was 2000 by 2000, 2000, comma 2000, because it has two inputs in the red axis and the green axis in this case, and enter, and you get your rectangle. If we look at the bottom of the screen, you can see arrow keys equals toggle lock drawing plane. Sounds very confusing. Again, the right arrow means I want to draw my rectangle on that plane. And if I use the left arrow, it means I want to draw on this plane. Okay, so we can choose which plane you want to draw on. Okay, so that's the essentials, and I'll do a few Control-Zs. Control-Z, Z, Z gets rid of those. So that's the fundamentals of the rectangle tool. Rotated rectangle, don't worry about. Circle tool. Again, so the rectangle tool, by the way, is R on the keyboard. The circle tool is C on the keyboard. And again, if you look at the bottom left, select center point, move your mouse, type in a radius, or if you want to, you can click. So if you've inferenced to something else that you're drawing the circle to on your model, you can click on that. But generally speaking, you'll type in the radius of the circle, so 200. And there's a 200 radius circle. Okay, Control-Z, get rid of that circle. So next is the polygon tool. So the way polygon works is you click on that. There isn't a shortcut for it. And before you use it, you tell it how many sides you want your polygon to be. So if you look bottom right, you can see it says sides 3. If I type in sides 8, enter, you can see that becomes an octagon, which I can draw. And again, you type in the distance to one of the vertices. I'm pressing Escape to stop drawing that. Actually, the circle key is exactly the same. So when I'm drawing a circle, can you see bottom right? It says sides 24. So that's a circle is actually a multi-sided object in SketchUp. It's made up of lots of lines. So when I draw a circle, you'll notice that actually it's a 24-sided polygon. And I'll do Control Z. And now before I type, I'm going to type, I want to draw. So I'll select the circle tool and say I want to draw a 3-sided circle. And of course, what that does is it draws a triangle. So it is exactly the same actually as the polygon tool, which is great because you don't need to use the polygon tool. Just use the circle tool and tell it how many sides you want your circle to have. Normally when you do your circle, it'll be 24, but it does remember the last thing you used. So that'll do a circle. If you want your circle to be smoother, when you choose the circle tool, you can type 64, and it'll do a much smoother circle with 64 sides. Normally go with the default because we don't want too many edges. It'll slow down performance of your model if you're using lots of circles. The next thing is the arcs. So this is the arc tool. Again, look bottom left, it'll tell you how to use it. Or look at the instruction over here. The most common is a 2-point arc, which is an arc between 2 points. You click on the first point, you click on the second point, and then you choose the amount of bend of the arc. You need to be a little bit careful with arcs to make sure they're going in the direction you want them. And then when you click the third time, it'll draw the arc. Okay, so a 2-point arc. So normally it would be between, let me just draw a couple of rectangles, which are going to be connected by an arc. You will draw an arc between 2 points. So you'll go from this point to this point, and I've chosen the wrong arc. This is the arc we were using, this point, and you choose the amount of bend in the arc. So that's the 2-point arc. The other one that's useful is this one, the pi. So if I've got a line going like so, which, let's say this is a wall, and I've got a doorway in this wall, and we want to put a door here. Okay, so that's our door, and we want to show the swing of the door, which is quite common. So that's where we'll use the pi. And what you do is you choose the point of the hinge first. This is how I think of it. And you click once. Make sure that it's showing this blue, that we're on the blue axis. And then you choose to the end of the door, and you choose your swing, going 90 degrees this way or 90 degrees this way. And click, and you'll see that you've got your door swing. So that's what that tool is used for. The push-pull tool we'll come to in the next lesson when we create stuff in 3D. The tape measure tool is very handy to measure up 2 different points. So if I draw a square and I want to know the dimensions of it, you can click on the tape measure and click on a point and click on another point, and in the bottom right you can see that is 3233 millimeters. It also shows it on the screen, 2855 millimeters, and diagonally 4313 millimeters. The tape measure tool has a lot of functions in SketchUp. It can create guidelines. So if you want to draw another line a certain distance away from this line, when it's hovering on the edge of a line, it goes red. And we can click once, and then I can slide the mouse in any direction. Just be very careful, because you can see the blue direction that's going up from that line, and the green direction means it's going along in that distance in that direction away from me. And then I can type in a distance of 100 millimeters, and that gives me a guide to which I can now draw. Guides are very useful. So that's the tape measure tool. As I say, tape measure tool can have a lesson on its own because it's got lots of different functions. These we will not use very much, so we can ignore them. So this is how to draw a dimension, but we tend to do that in layout. This is to put a text box in. Again, we put labels in layout, not in SketchUp. And the protractor is quite rarely used. Section planes we'll deal with later. And the orbiting tools we don't really need. So that's kind of the basis of the tools that we use in SketchUp. Good. I hope that's a helpful one.